Hotep.
Hotep.
Uncle Jobson.
Uncle Johnson, on to you.
Today's question is, why are Black women our most vital source, yet treated as expendable?
Why are Black women our most vital source, yet treated as expendable? To put it simply, Black women are a big part of the birth, if not the birth of civilization. And the powers that be can't let that get out or let that be known, because there's no way that something Black could ever be the birth of or the creator of civilization, right? Two, because destabilizing the Black woman destabilizes the Black man. It puts me in the mind of that BMF quote from Lamar, I'm going to have to cut his water off. That's what the enemy did to the Black man, cut his water off. His water being the Black woman.
What do you mean by the birth of civilization?
Let's take a look at what the start of a civilization looks like. A civilization starts with food surplus, timekeeping, and birth survival. The man goes and hunts. He hunts and gathers, but the woman has to control surplus. The woman is the person who prepares it, who cleans it, who knows how long it'll last, who sustains it and keeps it around so she can divvy it up and portion it out. The timekeeping, she's the timekeeper because she's the one that's in tune with her cycle. She's in tune with the cycle and the seasons. And as far as the survival of births, that's self-explanatory. Kings, armies, institutions, things of that nature, that stuff comes later. But you can't have any of that stuff without the woman. Let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with who Bat is?
Who Bat is?
Yes.
No.
Bat comes from around 10,000, anywhere from around 10,000 BCE, or it could be before that. She shows up, the first recording, I believe, is around like 4,000 BCE. The first depictions you see is Bat, or the depiction of a woman with the cow horns on her head. What this symbolizes is literally cosmic order, an essential piece, literally the source. Without her, there could be no ladder. Nothing else comes after that. What starts to happen is now institutions and centralized power starts to come into play. Now it's starting to come out of the matriarchal tribe, the matriarchal community. And when I say matriarchal, I mean with the woman at the head. Of course, she would be the head because she's the everything. Why wouldn't she be the head? Of course, they don't want you to notice. That is what takes the woman out of the position. Not completely. This isn't, men taking over and pushing women to the back. This is literally the first time power structures outside of being strictly matriarchal looks different. So even that system is based off of Bat, or cosmic order, what Bat represents. You understand? When you look at how a nation or a kingdom is built and ran, how it's sustained, how you have to have, you have to have grain storage, you have to have gold, you have to know the seasons, you have to know when to plant, you have to know all these things. It really puts you in the mind. It's really similar to how a successful home is. Where does that come from? It's Bat. It's the woman. It's the Black woman. From the and I started back here because I want us to understand that, because you asked the question of, why are women our most vital source? Well, first, let me stop there before we go any further in the question. Let me show you that y'all are definitely the vital source, and this started, and like I said, a woman is the very first depiction recorded. It's a woman. Europeans call her a goddess and things of that and try to make it like we was worshiping this and worshiping that. But the truth is what Bat represented and what Hathor later represents is the same thing, which is cosmic order, balance. And out of this soil, Mayat grew. The 42 confessions of Mayat. So before we had any laws, any written structure, we practice right living just by living it. The balance of what's good for me is good for my brother. The balance of, not doing to someone that what you don't want done to you. These simple things, these simple rules and golden rules that were taken later and turned into what they later became. started all the way back then. Order, justice, reciprocity started all the way back with back. So no one needed to explain it to you. You know what I mean? No one needed to write it down and say, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It was nothing like that. You just simply lived right. And the act of doing this was bad. Later became Hathor. These names, I can replace them with, the act of doing this was black woman, which later became black woman. So yes, the shift starts with institutions. And then when certain institutions come into play, they weren't like us. They didn't mind raping, disrespecting, degrading their women. So definitely didn't mind going to black women when they started spilling into our borders. Then they realized, how do you take down and or rule the greatest civilization on earth? Well, you take away their source. You make the source believe that you're their source. Then you make the men believe that they don't even have a source. The very thing they need to function, build, survive, rule, and win. In my family defense, though, as you can see, we've all been duped, tricked, lied to, bamboozled, and hoodwinked, to say it in the spirit of our brother. To be honest, we could press forward on the issue and we could talk for another year about it and still not cover all the aspects of it. But I believe that that's the best way to describe it, is to give you the history here, Queen. Because to answer your question on why black women are the most vital source, yet treated as expendable, is because you are the source. You are not expendable.